Hey everybody, it's the Canadian Film Forecast for the week of June 29th. It's Canada Day week and we are super excited to be talking all things Canadian film related. Now, my colleague Annalea Boki is off today, but I will cover her Canadian film releases for her. There's just one, but it's a special one because we got something cool happening with it. But I'd like to introduce my other colleagues, by voice only, Catherine Brodsky today in Vancouver. Hey Catherine.
Hello.
Hi. Oh, sounding sultry.
That's right.
Yes. And on camera and looking gorgeous as always is Anita Adams.
Hello, everyone.
Hey. So as I mentioned, Annalea is off today, but we have a really cool film opening next week on July 10th called Volition. And if you've ever wished that you could see your future, you might just want to watch this film and then think again. It's about a person with clairvoyant abilities who does see something happening in his future and tries best he can to avoid it. I don't know what it is, wouldn't say even if I did, but you'll have to watch the movie. And then the special event I was referring to is we're going to be hosting a Q&A with the director and some of the cast on July 16th. So be sure to keep an eye out for updates on that for the exact time and details. And I'm looking forward to that conversation.
Yeah, I understand there's a lot of people from the film that are going to be joining us. So I can't reveal all the names yet, but it looks like we're going to have a really good showing of people coming out. And I love how you lead these conversations with the cast and the filmmakers. So it's going to promise to be another one of our great events. So awesome.
I can't wait because I am one of those people who are just like, if I could just know what's around the corner, just know. So I'm looking forward to seeing this film and then, asking all the questions. But don't worry, I'll leave time for you guys to ask your questions too. That is it for Canadian film releases, but there are, of course, some fabulous movies already out that you can get on demand. So please check our website, firstweekendclub.ca, and get all the news there. Now we head over to Anita for Anita's picks.
Yeah, I've got a couple good ones for you again, of course. And once again, I'm delighted to share with you what CBC has put together. The CBC Gem has now the Black Stories collection, where you can find and watch films and hear the voices of the black voices from across Canada and around the world. And there are some fabulous, fabulous titles. The two that I want to draw your attention to right now is the first one is The Skin We're In by Charles Officer. Now, you've interviewed him a number of times, haven't you, Priya?
Yes, I have. And we have an amazing podcast episode with him. Sorry if you can hear those dogs barking, but it's hot out here. My dogs are barking too. And I have to say, even though my interview with Charles was pre-COVID and pre all this horrible stuff that's been going on in the States and the resurgence sort of the real Black Lives Matter movement, he did bring up the topic of race, and it was very interesting because he started out as a hockey player, a professional hockey player, and you can just imagine 25 years ago being a Black professional hockey player in Canada, not such an easy thing. Yeah. So a really, really great conversation, but he's always a great conversation.
Yeah, he's a prolific filmmaker. So The Skin We're In, this is a documentary where acclaimed journalist Desmond Cole explores what it is to be Black in the 21st century Canada. And the question he explores is, do Black lives matter here? And the film is, I would say it's urgent, it's controversial, and undeniably honest. I would call it a wake-up call to complacent Canadians who don't believe that racism is here in Canada. And folks, racism is here. And so I encourage you to watch this film. I think it'll be very eye-opening. It's very powerful. And Charles is a fabulous filmmaker. The second film that I want to draw to...
I just want to interject because Desmond Cole, of course, is such one of the foremost voices on this topic in Toronto. And we just had a big decision come down, a legal decision in a major case here in Toronto last week, which he was talking about before everybody else was talking about it. So not only is it a fantastic filmmaker in Charles Officer, but you've really got one of the leading voices, very outspoken, never shy from controversy. So this is really definitely a film to watch.
Maybe it's a film we should bring back and have a conversation with Charles on, and particularly given, I guess this is not the place to have that discussion. We'll talk about that later.
Fabulous idea. Maybe we can get Desmond Cole on too. We'll continue. We'll chat.
Okay. The title that I want to draw to your attention is Home Again by Sutherland. Another fantastic film. This is powerful, visually stunning. It's a story of Marva, Dunstan, and Everton. They are three Jamaicans who grew up in Toronto, New York, and London, respectively, and they have been deported home to Jamaica. Once they're in Kingston, they discover that every day is a fight for survival. And on this journey, they each discover who they truly are. Check out this film. Both films are on CBC Gem. Take a look at the whole selection that they've got there. Some really fabulous titles are on recommendation.
Good selections, as always, but two very, very topically relevant. And Suds, again, one of our really fantastic voices from the pantheon of voices we have here in Canada. Really, these two filmmakers you've mentioned are excellent examples of the talent we have and the strength in the diversity of this country. So great choices, Anita. I approve. Not that you need my approval, but thanks for your selections. And now, by sultry voice only, we'll get the Brodsky report from the lovely Catherine.
Thank you. I hope I live up to my sultry voice record.
I feel like you're amping it up a bit now.
Maybe a little bit.
Really cool
but one thing that's I know is on everybody's mind is the Toronto International Film Festival. Like, what's happening there? Well, the good news are that it's going to be running September 10th to 19th as planned, but its 45th edition is going to look very different. Plans for the festival include a hybrid of both physical and digital screenings, as well as virtual red carpets and drive-in experiences. There's going to be a lineup of 50 new feature films, 5 programs of shorts, and an online industry conference. It's also going to have outdoor experiences, press conferences, interactive talks, and Q&As with casts and filmmakers, and they're still in the process of announcing exactly how all of that is going to look. Now, you know, it's gonna be different, where we're not gonna have those schmoozing parties that Toronto is so known for, but it does mean that there's a lot of things that people from across the country can probably partake in, as well as people living in Toronto can take a part in some of the in-person festivities as well. So it'll be interesting to see how it all turns out.
Yeah, I love the drive-in aspect of that. And I'm just going to say that I am happy to, leave my passenger seat open for Brad Pitt or anybody who needs a drive to their Q&A, to their gala. I'll have my ball gown,
That all sounds like a great idea. And speaking of drive-in movie experiences, it seems like that's something that's being revived across the country. I personally love the drive-in experience. The first time I went to a drive-in was I ended up buying all the unhealthy foods like on the menu, because I've never had any of that. So the pickle with it was disgusting. It was absolutely disgusting, but it's part of the experience. And if you're in Toronto,
drive-in.
You haven't?
Never.
We need to fix that, Anita, for sure. Let's do this. Well, but if you're in Toronto, check out the Downson View Park's free Friday Night Lights drive-in movie series. And they're holding screenings on July 3rd, 24th, August 7th, and 21st, as well as September 4th. And they partnered up with Made New to celebrate the works of Canadian creators in film. So all the featured films this summer were either shot in Canada, had post-production in Canada, and include Canadian actors and directors. So it should be quite an interesting series to take part in. If I was in Toronto, I'd totally be there, but I'm sure they'll be fun.
I love that. I love the drive-in experience. It always makes me think of the movie Grease, because that sort of starts off in the drive-in. Have you at least seen that? Vicariously through that moment.
Exactly. I definitely need to find some to take Anita to separately.
Catherine, I like that idea. We've got a drive-in date.
Absolutely. So, but if you're looking to find more Canadian films to watch, there's some good news for you. So Telefilm Canada has a new place to find Canadian films right at your fingertips. And given that Canadians are now consuming so much of the content online these days, Telefilm wanted to make it easy on everyone so they could find great Canadian content that's already available out there. So what they did is they created a landing page that highlights where to watch Canadian films on Canada's favorite streaming platforms. Those include things like Crave, CBC Jam, Apple TV, Google Play, Netflix, Cineplex Store, YouTube, and many other resources. And if you want to see some of the films that you can find online, you can check it out at http://telefilm.ca/en/see it all. And we'll also make sure that we post that on our Facebook, so check that out.
Good idea.
So you can just click on it instead of trying to figure out what it is that I'm dictating.
You know, I'm pretty sure you don't need to say the HTTP.
I realized that after I said it. I'm like, I'm a total dork. I just said, the whole URL.
You know that part.
Hey, watch it.
No, I didn't mean the dork part. I meant I think we know the www part.
Okay.
But I love this. I love that they're kind of acting as an aggregator of sorts. Let us know where to
making it easy to find these. Great films.
That's amazing. And I'm still stuck on the drive-in and can't wait to go. So we're going to include that link in the write-up above, below, somewhere. You'll see it.
Somewhere. We'll find it. We'll share it.
And is that all you got for us this week, Catherine?
That's all I've got for you this week, but much more coming next week.
For sure. And next week we'll be back with our happy foursome. We'll welcome Analea back. And we'll have much more for you. Until then, happy Canada Day, everyone.
Yeah, happy Canada Day.
Films. Yeah. All right, ladies. Talk to you next week.
All right. Bye, everyone.